Let's go. And shit.
And welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Trades HQ podcast.
Welcome.
So right off the bat, this show is going to be about trade etiquette, which I think is pretty fun.
So you're starting off with bad etiquette by cutting me off.
This is episode 95. I'm his partner, his life partner.
Oh, that's right.
_ Shane. That's his other life partner at Madman.
At DFF _ Madman.
Oh my God.
And he's FF Blitz. So
there we go.
Dick bag, right? And it's funny because we're going to be talking about trade offers and trade etiquette.
Great way to start the show.
So this dick bag, right? And we'll just call him because I don't want to say people's names because it's not cool to put them on blast like that. Yeah, so his name is actual Dick Bag. I think it's French. I don't know, but that's not me. I'm not judging his name. So Dick Bag sends me an offer, and it's a super flex league. And the name of the league, just in case you weren't aware of that, is there's super flex in it. So we'll just leave it at that because I don't want anyone to know who I'm talking about because that's just rude.
It's very hard to figure it out so far.
So Dick Bag sends me an offer of. What did he send me? Dick Bag. I'm sorry. Dick Bag sends me an offer of Darwin Thomas and Will Fuller for Dwayne Haskins. It's goddamn Superflex league. I love Darwin Thomas coming in this season. The Chiefs have already shown you what they think of him. Like they've gone to their ninth string running back and they refuse to let him touch the ball. And Will Fuller, as much as I like him, he hasn't done shit this year. So you're not selling high on either as assets. So how are you buying a quarterback that was easily a top 5 pick in a Superflex league this year? So, I said, you know what, Dick Bag, let me send back an offer in kind. So I send out an offer, and I sent Dick Bag an offer of Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill. Just to lock down that
Tennessee's juggernaut,
of course, right?
So I sent Dick Bag an offer of those two for Odell Beckham Jr. and Will Fuller. That's what we like to call. Oh, I know. And in the comments I put, this is a super flex league, right? Something to that effect. Because I'm a jerk off. Only when you're a jerk off first, though. So anyway, then I jumped on the group me chat to tell him to go f himself. Then he told me to go yourself, and then he called me pal and I called him buddy, and now I think we're friends again, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Okay. And all of this leads to
so tonight's episode is all about trade etiquette.
Just waiting for it.
You were just gonna leave it hanging there like that was the end of the story.
Yeah, this show all about trade etiquette, and I won't get into why. Because, it's important that in life when something happens, good or bad, or indifferent, that you try to use it for show content. So that's
what's true.
Sure.
And I think, that just about every league has a Dick Bag.
Yeah, Dick Bag. There's a large contingent of family members of Dick Bags.
I also think that it's also good to sometimes wait a couple days before we also do a show. I agree with you that yes, it gives us content, but
yeah, no, you definitely don't, because I wanted to tape that day.
I know you did, and
some of the things, and I'm not going to put names out there because basically whatever. They don't listen to the show, and if they do, well,
oh my God.
And they probably don't listen to this show. Whatever, fine, because we're nothing but jokes anyway. I'm just a joke. I'm a running fucking joke. Anyway,
you're a good joke, though.
I will say this, though. I will say this. This is all supposed to be fun. Granted, yes, we have podcasts, we have websites, we have articles written and everything, but ultimately, it's supposed to be a fun game. It's a hobby. It's not.
Some people just miss the point, man.
Exactly.
They're spending their time telling you how you should be doing things instead of just doing things better themselves.
Well, that's ultimately true, too. That's what I was going to say, is we all do this differently, and we all should enjoy it the way we enjoy it. And
real quick, me and Dick Bag are friends again, so he's no longer Dick Bag.
Okay, but there's also other
situations. He's listening to this show. Me and you are buddies. You're no longer Dick Bud. We're making amends right now. See, and that's how adults should handle it. Like, you call each other names, and then you realize, like, oh, I'm 40.
Okay.
I shouldn't probably name call.
So that's anyway. What led to us doing a show like this, correct? But before we do that, You want to talk about rotosurance.com and do a couple news things, and then we'll jump into the show?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about tonight's show.
Obviously.
So let's get into it. Rotosurance for if you draft players that get hurt. And yeah, guess what? It's fantasy football, so these players get hurt a lot. So check out rotosurance.com. Use DynastyTradesHQ, all in caps, as if you were yelling at me for a trade offer that you didn't like. In the code and save yourself, I believe it's 20% discount.
But yeah, so the first one we have there, I mean, there was quite a few people that got hurt, but obviously the John Ross one, yesterday they were saying, oh, he'll be gone for a week or two. And then today they say he's on IR.
Yeah, 6 weeks. So
I think that dude's just perpetually going to be one of those guys that gets banged up and misses games and comes back and has a good game and misses some more. That's how I feel about that kid.
Well, you know what else? There was another one that went on IR today that most of us in the Dynasty community don't even notice because, I don't know, are you in any leagues that have a kicker?
Steven Gostkowski.
Yeah, Gostkowski
I
went on
still
IR.
in a couple leagues that have kickers. I don't
Are you
have
really?
Gostkowski. Yeah, man. 2 leagues still. Yeah, it pisses me off every time I got Zane Gonzalez, though, to make up for some kickers that were doing shitty. And, boy, I had to do some research on that cat.
Well, actually, back to John Ross, that Auden Tate. I know it didn't, Shane, you wanted to talk about Auden Tate?
Yeah, so Auden Tate, remember, he's a guy that
I remember.
He was big coming into the draft last year, or probably I'd say the combine is what sunk him. I don't really remember.
Yeah, he ran super slow, and
he's just
his stock felt like a rock.
Exactly, he's not what you'd call a spectacular athlete. But he did have a decent college career. He's a guy that a lot of Devi guys liked. But then he fell to the 7th round of the draft. I don't even remember where he was drafted. If he was actually, he was drafted by Cincinnati. He was the 253rd pick overall. Yeah. Still just 22, so he's 6'5", 228. Anyway, so he's had 16 targets over the last 2 weeks. And he was already starting in their 3 wide receiver set. So it's not like he's going to take over the John Ross role because, he doesn't run a 4.4. He probably runs like a 4.7. I don't even know off the top of my head.
That's getting up there. That's what he runs. He's slow like that, but he actually saw some work in the slot and looked pretty freaking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 16 targets over the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
He almost cracked 10 points this week. He went. I must be looking at half PPR or something here because it said he had nope. I don't know how to do math again. So he had 4 receptions for 50 yards, and that would be 9 points.
That would be 9 points.
That is 9. Week before that, he gave you almost 13 points, 12.8. So I mean, it's not bad. He's a guy that even before the John Ross news, I jumped out on some waivers and tried to add him because
hell yeah, man. AJ,
if you saw AJ Green on the sidelines, I think that was Monday night. He looks like he has absolutely no interest in stepping on the field anytime soon.
They even said today was the week he was supposed to be back, and now they're saying there's no timetable for his return. I did the same thing you did. Like last week when we were talking about tweaking your rosters, I actually found Auden Tate on 2 waiver wires last week. So he may still be out there on some of these leagues, probably not. Available. But if he he probably went for a lot in Fab this week.
On the shallower rosters for sure, like 24 to 30 teams, you can sometimes find him. But yeah, in deeper leagues, not so much.
Or an IDP league.
Yeah, IDP. Yeah.
Why don't we hear from the Scouting Academy, get everything together, and then we'll go on to this trade etiquette story we want to talk about.
Scout NFL football like a pro. Invest in yourself and get a degree in player evaluation and assessment from the Scouting Academy. They've educated NFL GMs, personnel directors, and dozens of NFL scouts. Enroll today and you'll watch the same game tape NFL coaches watch. You'll learn to look past the metrics with position-by-position analysis. This is a time-tested curriculum, a chance to learn from the NFL execs and coaches. Sign up today and get a Dynasty Football Factory exclusive discount for limited time only. Save $50 when you sign up at dynastyfootballfactory.com.
Yep.
Okay, so check out the Scouting Academy. We still got the discount on the site there, $50 off their next semester. Is this fall? Are we in fall or autumn?
I live in South Florida. It's all the same to me.
Fuck you. It's the summer. So, but for the rest of us, is this autumn? What is the difference between autumn and fall?
Same thing, dude.
Why do they call it two different things? And I don't understand.
Well, autumn's the formal word.
Oh.
The fall is just like, layperson terms.
It's always hot here, so I don't know anything. All right. Anyway.
So again, so from whatever, I don't want to get into it. So I decided to just, let's talk about some trade etiquette.
Okay, so leading into the trade etiquette thing, what we decided, or what Shane did, was he threw out a whole bunch of polls out to the Twitter universe to see how everybody felt about this quote unquote trade etiquette thing that we were.
Well, and I want to share this one first because this is my favorite poll that I put up because it makes no sense.
But the best part of it not only did it not make sense, it was so awesome that everybody answered it with responses. Instead of just answering the poll, everybody seemed to have to explain their answers because they couldn't understand your question.
Yeah. So that was definitely part of it. Like, I feel like people voted and then went, wait, I don't know if I voted the way I actually feel because I don't know what the game was saying. So
I absolutely did that. I did exactly what you said.
So if I can find the next one after this, you'll see the stark contrast in the two results when I meant the same thing.
Right.
But I'm not that bright.
So what's the first one? Let's read it.
Excuse me. First question was, if I send you a blind trade offer, should I not send out offers including the same players to other owners? 71% of the respondents said no. But mostly because I don't think they knew what I was talking about.
I didn't know what you were asking, man.
Yeah, yes. And everybody was really pretty accurate in their responses where they were explaining why they think that it's okay the way you did it. But go ahead.
We got some great responses about it that really frame up the context of it. I think we should read some of these or at least discuss them a little bit.
I mean, I don't know if we're allowed legally to.
I mean, we don't need to even say who made the comment, but just that,
Listen,
what do the takes mean? The double negative makes this confusing.
Actually, I was going to say, before you do that, explain what you were trying to ask everybody.
I meant to say is, do you feel that it's appropriate to send multiple blind offers out, including the same player, to multiple owners? So, for instance, myself, you, Michael, and Jeremy are all in leagues together separately, also as a team, but not in this context. We're all in HQ1 together. Is it okay if I send you a blind bid offer, a blind trade offer that includes, we'll say Carson Wentz, and then I also send the exact blind offer out to Jeremy?
Well, of course it is. I mean, I'm in a league with you, and people send all kinds of offers. And this is just my opinion, but I get offers from people in all different sorts of ways, whether they frame it up. I mean, I can't control you. You can make me an offer however you want to make me an offer. It's up to me to either counter, accept it, reject it. I mean, there are things I can do. I don't control you. I have to react to what you do as a trader in my league. So, yeah. Times in my league sends out offers. Hey, you know what? I want to get rid of Alexander Madison. You know what? Damn it. I'm going to send an offer to everybody in the league, or, half the people that I realize need running backs. Who the hell cares? It's just one technique in a whole freaking arsenal of techniques that you could use. If someone doesn't like that you do that, I don't understand.
I also think one of the things I was going to say to you too is, even if you look at it the way people are talking about this, there's no reason for you not to send it out to every single person. If you were going to only deal with one person at a time, you would never get anything done. With some of these leagues, we have 16 teams in it. So what? You're supposed to send somebody to one person and then wait and decide and see if they answer.
First?
Right. And then, okay, that didn't work.
Offer them first. Right.
And I've been doing this for over 20 years. People do this all the time. People send out offers, and I know you keep saying blind trade offer, but I don't know if people even know what that means, blind. I mean, you're just sending offers. People send offers all the time, and there's nothing wrong with sending the same offer to two people. I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever.
Yeah, you want to be in leagues that are active, so send offers, of course.
So I guess I'll explain in case anyone listening doesn't understand my vernacular, because I don't even know if this is the correct term.
That's what I was to say. I never heard blind offer until you started saying it with these polls.
Whatever. I just make up my own terms.
Exactly.
If you don't like it, off. So blind offers are offers that are sent with no prior discussion regarding a trade.
But isn't that most of offers?
There, hanging out on his sofa, He'll feel his phone vibrate, and he'll be like, "Oh my God, Shane sent me something." And then he'll open his email and he'll say, "Oh, you have an offer from MFL." And then in my case, I would accidentally accept it in the email and then contact the owner and ask him to send it right back to me because I didn't pay attention.
And then, and then we'd have to reverse things and people get all upset. But I mean, isn't that the majority of trade offers anyways? I mean, I get buzzing all the time on my phone and it's just somebody sending me an offer.
The majority of my trade offers, you could say, are blind because either they're not on Twitter or, they're not framing it up through an email. They're just sending me an offer through the league, MFL, let's say, and hoping that maybe it's a player I have in trade bait. It's not really a blind. It might be a blind offer, but the etiquette of that is perfectly fine. There's nothing. Somebody's sending you an offer, and if they send it to multiple people in the league, I think that's just, you're doing your due diligence. If you're trying to move a player, why would you limit yourself to trading with one team at a time? Maybe by Sunday you haven't made that deal yet, and you can't. Maybe you needed to make the trade. So why be so strategic when you can just blanket shotgun approach the whole thing?
There's no reason. I don't see any reason to have to explain it or apologize for it or anything. Everybody does it. It's always been that way, and I don't see why anybody has a problem with it.
It's like trying to change the market. You're not going to change the market. It is what it is. And people do different things within the free market, and you just have to react to it, be dynamic and react to it, or you get screwed. And too bad. You're not going to cry about it later because you didn't take the opportunity to engage with people because they're not doing things the way you want.
But the underlying thing about all of it goes back to you could do however you want to do this. There is no rule book. There is no thing that says you must do trades this way. You must send offers this way. Everybody does it the way they want to do it and the way they enjoy doing it. Obviously, when I send out trade offers, a lot of times I really spend a lot of time figuring out who I want, and what that other person needs and blah, blah, blah. Shane, on the other hand, just like my friend Greg too, will blanket everybody and send out offers to everybody and hope that somebody will counter or somebody will do something. And that's the way Shane enjoys it. So there's no reason for anybody to come in and say, Shane, that's not how you do trades.
So real quick, and this wasn't a poll, but this was just me and our good friend Wrecked at Fantasy, Bobby Koch.
Bobby?
That's not his handle. Whatever. I don't know his handle.
Wrecked Fantasy. You're right.
Yeah, that. He knows his name. But it's funny, like, we talk about trades and whatnot.
Right.
So, and he just happened today to mention to me, it was in a DM, so I don't even know if he wants me to share it, but I assume he does.
I'm sure Bobby will be fine.
Yeah, he said basically he just mentioned like, I've been trying to work a lot of trades this week, like with two owners, and it's really frustrating when you're doing all this negotiating, air quotes, and it doesn't come to fruition. And, that kind of encapsulates my whole thought process on trading. Like, I love trading, and I love pulling off the trades. You know me. I don't like talking to people. I don't want to show my hand by talking to people. I don't want to have to pretend that we're buddies and that I give a shit about anything else other than making this trade.
And, I agree with you. And that was something that I had wrote over here on the side, that there are some people that just don't want to interact or are afraid to interact or don't have the skills to interact with people. They want to just send an offer and not have to do the whole, hey, what do you think? What do you think? The other part of all that I hate talking to somebody back and forth. Hey, are you interested in this guy? Yeah. What do you want? Okay, this is fine. All right, let's do it. And then the deal never gets sent. I mean, it happens all the time that people talk about shit and then they don't ever do it. I would much rather get the ding on my phone and say that 400-710 blah, blah, blah thing where there's an offer literally in my face that I can look at instead of talking to somebody. And it is funny
when people just make me offers.
Me too. And it's funny what Shane said about not liking to talk to people. Even when we were doing the show live at the convention, you were like, yeah, okay, I'll talk to them, but I'm going away. So it is kind of funny.
Look, and some people aren't equipped to speak with people, and that is me. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll tell you guys something too. One thing that irritates me is the people who send me a paragraph explaining why I need a certain player and why they're trying to help me better my team. Because automatically my you're full of shit filter is just like blown. I'm like, what?
See,
like, I don't believe that's why they're doing it, number one. And, they're trying to make their team better, and that's fine. If they're sending me something that I could use or want or need and it's a fair offer, cool. But if it's like they have to frame it up too much and explain it and give me background, off.
Jeremy, we talked about this years ago. Before we even did the show, we talked about this because it was happening in one of our leagues where somebody was like talking down to me about something. And remember what I told you? I said, I actually like that when that happens, and I'll play into it to let them think that, oh, you're right.
Dynamic.
You're right.
You can trade with different types of people.
But then you play it off like, oh my God, thank you. I didn't really think about it, because then they have that in their mind that they know more than you know, and then you could play off of that and do stuff. But it kind of leads into the question that another one of the polls Shane put up, where he said, would you trade with owners who insult your intelligence with terrible offers?
I should have just put up that insult you, period.
Exactly, without the terrible offers.
Insult your intelligence.
Well, I'll trade with people who insult my intelligence, so to speak, with bad offers, because I feel like that happens. That happens a lot, and I can't. We've talked about this too on the show before. I don't pretend to know what that person's thinking. So anytime someone sends me an offer, I don't like go off like, oh, this person's trolling me, catfishing me, whatever, like, playing a joke on me, or just being an ignorant asshole, whatever. I go into it with like, okay, I'm thinking it's a legitimate trade, and if I'm interested in trading, I fire something back that's kind of serious, but like, hey, I think I can't assume that they're just I can't assume they're coming from any certain position. I just play it off and deal with it however I need to. Insulting you, though, that's never okay. Insulting my intelligence in trades, feel free to do whatever you think value-wise, but don't insult people while you're trying to trade with them. That's always a bad look. You know what that's going to get you? That's going to get you on the I'm never going to ever trade with you list.
And it's so just real quick. So the poll results on this were pretty overwhelming. 76% of the people said yes. They would trade with someone that insults their intelligence with bad offers. 76% because yes, it's business, and honestly, that is obviously the best tack to take. But you can tell there's at least 24% of the population that is a lot like I am. They're very what's the word I'm looking for? Filled with rage and looking for a reason to be angry with someone.
Looking for a reason for the rest of us to see in a DM data left thread. That's what we end up seeing a lot when things like that happen to you. You just leave.
I tend, and I will say this, if it's just bad trade offers, I usually just think they're comical.
Oh yeah, I don't mean because of the trade offer. I just mean what you're saying about insulting you.
Yeah, when people get to getting insulting you or stuff like that, that's when like I'm like, my back's up. Then it's like, all right, well, there's several ways I could handle this. I can just remove myself from the situation,
Yep.
which is probably for the best. But I don't want to go too far down.
No. I think if you go back to the question, the question about asking about insulting you on a bad trade offer, that's not like saying something bad about you. But a lot of times, if somebody sends you a trade offer that is so lopsided, you can either take it as, yeah, they think I'm stupid and that I might do this, or you can also look at it as they're stupid. I mean, if they think that an offer like this is going to evoke something out of me or make me accept it or whatever, then just play off of that. I think it is funny when a lot of people go, oh yeah, I was just trying to open up a dialogue with you by sending that offer. And I think a lot of times that's just bullcrap. They're just trying to see if they can slip something by you and if you're going to do it.
No, I used to get mad at bad trade offers. I honestly, don't really get mad at just bad trade offers anymore. But I do what you did. I assume that their player values are so skewed that they have no idea.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll say, all right, well, let me try this.
Right. Some people are just unrealistic too.
Yeah, but most times what you find that's not the case. It's not that they don't know player value. It's just they were just trying to win a trade.
Right.
But, whatever. I've sent out offers and thought, that's not bad. And then, when someone's responded to the trade offer, like, Shane, that's terrible. And then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty terrible. That's pretty terrible.
I agree, though. Something that Jeremy said a little while ago is something that does bother me, no matter how much intellectually I can look at it and understand it. But it is so funny when somebody tries to explain to you why the trade offer is good for you. Like, you should do this because your team needs this guy, and this guy is a second string guy, and I can use, like, they pretend like they're trying to help you, and it's so disingenuous. There's no reason that anybody would send you an offer to try to help you.
Yeah, disingenuous is the perfect word, because there are people who are like, they're looking for a mutual trade, much like we try to make, and they're like, hey, I know you were looking for a running back. I'm willing to part with Leonard Fournette. Maybe we could get something done.
Right.
How attached are you to, whatever wide receiver or tight end or something? And they're trying to get a trade going because they know you have a need. I mean, I get that. It happens a lot. But the people who send you like a novel about why you should be trading with them, it's just like, come on, man. You're pouring it on too thick.
And it's always great too when they say, and the guy you're giving me he's just a second string guy. I might use him, I might not, blah, blah, blah. Then why are you fucking doing the trade? It doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, I generally, the only time I put anything at all in comments is if I want to point out that you might be ignoring the fact that I'm offering you what has been a wide receiver 1 this season. Like, I don't know, Emmanuel Sanders.
I was gonna say,
but and that's also because I have to point that out because he's 32 years old.
Right.
It's like I have to put lipstick on a pig. It's not a shit offer, but I have to at least like, hey, don't forget, I know he's old, but he's still good. I'll say something like, hey, the pick involved with this looks like it'll be low or it looks like it'll be high, whatever, just in case. I know sometimes people don't look at like picks that they're
well, yeah, no, you're just providing a bit of context and also letting that person know you're well aware that Emmanuel Sanders is 95 years old, but he's also a wide receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I don't. I'm talking about the people who try to make it seem like they're super nice and like, they're
trying
really
to help
looking
you
out to make a mutual deal, except that the trade offer they sent you while they're saying all that is god awful.
It's funny. I laughed out loud because in the listener league, I've gotten Emmanuel Sanders trades in the last 3 weeks from Shane. The best was, I don't remember all the pieces, but he was asking for Darius Geis from me. And in the quotes he wrote, that guy can't walk. He has no legs.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a medical fact that he can't walk.
So, all right.
That's not even something I'm making up. I mean, it's partly made up. But again, also that's with you.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the two of us talking. Now, there was one poll that you put up that this one, I think a lot of people have different opinions on, and actually you gave them 4 choices, and all 4 choices did get votes. And it's, how long do you wait before you revoke a trade offer? And you put up there 1 to 2 days, 3 to 4 days, never revoke one, or just prior to kickoff. And how did that go?
Never shouldn't. I mean, I put it on there because,
well, they all got votes.
Give it as an option, but never should not be on there. Every Sunday or Thursday, really, but probably Sunday, since there's more games going. Okay, anytime before kickoff, if you have a trade sitting out there that involves any of the players that are going to play, you need to revoke those trade offers.
Sure.
Because every week someone gets hurt. And that could be a player that you have in a trade offer, and it's not that other owner's responsibility to go, hey, Shane, are you sure you still really want to, trade for Darius Geis? Because he's going to be on the IR for the next 6 weeks. Or are you really sure that you want to trade for give me a name of someone that got hurt this week. I can't think of anyone. 2 weeks ago.
Devontae Adams got hurt during the game this week on his toe, and he's out now.
Big time.
I was thinking more of a guy that fucking blew his knee out.
John Ross is now on IR.
Yeah, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. So
I know what you're saying.
There's a game that night. You have a trade sitting out there, and the guy that you're trading for blew his knee out.
Right.
You didn't revoke that offer. Technically, that owner isn't under any obligation to go to you like, hey, do you still want to make this trade?
Oh, yeah. Just smash accept it if it
I
happens.
actually think there's no technically about it. I mean, if you left it up there, it is funny. I have seen people write on Twitter where they say the commish made us change that trade offer because he got upset because the player got hurt and he accepted it. I think all of that is bullshit. You're right. If you left it up there,
you to revoke it.
Yeah, I
mean, if you're a good dude, whatever, that's fine. You're a good person.
Plus, if you're a good commissioner, you care more about the sanctity of the league as a whole and all the owners, and not one damn trade. Really made a due diligence mistake.
Yeah, and I've been a commissioner forever, and the way I would handle that is you two guys talk about it. You know, I would never go in and say, "Hey, I'm revoking that. I'm flipping that over because that dude got hurt and he accepted it." That would be something that those two guys have to go through because it's not my place to sit there and tell them, "Oh, you have to redo it."
Don't look at it like you're doing either. They look at it like they're in a position of power when really it's bullshit. Like you're on a board.
Yeah.
For your homeowners association or something. You work for all the people that you support. It's not like they report to you.
Right.
You support all those people. You work for them. So as a commissioner, you have to look at it. You work for the league and what's best for the league. And that's what you do. That's what I do. But some people go into it like with a sense of entitlement or a sense of, revoking trades or disqualifying trades. Come on, man. That's rookie shit right there.
So with this poll, the one that got the most votes, got 40% of the 527 votes, was 1 to 2 days of revoking. Me personally, I don't do that. I don't revoke it after 1 or 2 days. There are some situations where maybe somebody didn't get to it or they're thinking about it or they're going over some stuff. So 1 to 2 days seems kind of quick to me. I probably go with the prior to kickoff thing more than the 1 to 2 days, but 40% said 1 to 2 days.
Yeah, that's the one. That was my answer too, and I was surprised. Well, first of all, I was surprised when I thought about it that was my answer. But it's not a standard thing. But generally, if I make a trade offer, I've learned not to leave it out there for very long. But the people who send you one and then an hour later revoke it, that's the stuff that I'm like, what the heck? What's this technique? I'm not sure. You just want to let me know you're interested in trading with me. I mean, why revoke it so like quick on the trigger? Fast revoke.
I think
maybe I can answer that, Jeremy. Sometimes you send a trade offer out, right? And then you're like, that was a good offer. I'm going to go about my day now and do some things. And then you remember, about 20 minutes later, you're thinking about that trade offer that you made. And you're like,
yeah, I get it.
That trade offer is not as good as I would like, and I don't want to make it. And please, I hope he does not
change your mind. Yeah.
So let me go immediately revoke that. Maybe I should have thought it out beforehand, before sending the trade, because that would make more sense. But some people are impulsive. I don't know anyone like that specifically, but there are
right.
See, and I think maybe that's why the 1 to 2 days doesn't fit in my mind, because I usually spend a lot of time figuring out the offer I'm going to send before I send it. So maybe that's why the 1 to 2 days don't work for me. But for you, absolutely. And I
craft a lot.
I'm not saying you never do, but you can't tell me you do all the time.
I put at least 20 to 30 to 45 seconds of thought in the most of my trade offers.
I don't remember what trade it was, but it was like 2 years ago in the listener league. You sent me an offer, and then I countered you, and then you countered me, and then we both went, "What the fuck are we doing?" And then you're like, "Holy shit, I'm so glad you didn't accept this." And like, we totally went away from that trade altogether. And I don't even remember what it was, but we were going back and forth really quick. And then we both realized, oh shit.
You like get trade drunk. You just keep flipping trades back and forth. Trade alert.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, we're just gonna break into one trade alert. We
Sweet.
actually had one in our listener league today.
Oh, okay, cool. What was it?
Didn't see it.
I did one in the listener league this week also.
I did not see it.
Actually, there were several trades. Yeah, there were several trades, but there was actually
an HQ1.
Oh wow.
Yeah, HQ1, the original, the classic, if you will,
the OG.
Classic.
Yeah, it's the classic.
The 16-team hard one.
And outside toilet.
Russ.
We actually did a couple trades. Yeah, I gave up the aforementioned elderly Emmanuel Sanders. and Alshon Jeffrey, and I got back a 2020 third, a 2021 first, and a 2021 second.
Oh yeah, Outhouse is trying to win this league.
So wait,
bitch.
you gave 2 starting wide receivers in a 16-team league to get a first in 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as you know,
third in 2020 and a second in 2021. Outhouse won that trade.
God.
He's trying to win this league, man. You
Big time.
So, except that market factors dictated that absolutely no one was going to give me any value. And I don't like to talk trade. I don't like putting offers out there for people that made trade offers, because that's not what I'm trying to say. But in English,
I didn't understand.
I don't like to tell. I don't share offers that I receive with other people. But I will say this on air. I had offered Emmanuel Sanders to literally everyone in the league for the past
2 weeks.
8 months.
Oh, well, 8 months, but definitely to me 2 weeks.
Rejected it.
At some point, I had.
I've gotten a lot of Emmanuel Sanders offers.
Yeah,
yes.
like I tried every.
I don't remember
iteration.
getting one. I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, like I tried. I sent out a couple last ditch efforts this morning. Or yesterday, I don't know. The days blend together when you're on methamphetamines. And Blitz, actually, I sent him. I was going to take a 2020 second for Emmanuel.
That's what you sent me, a 2020 second.
And it would have been like it would have been not even a good one, because it was Blitz's, and Blitz is like 4-0.
I'm 4-0. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm 3-1. I want to repeat this year, but I'm not gonna.
I'm
having some problems.
I want to go after you, Jeremy. I want it to be you and I.
I'm the only guy to go after, right? I won it in the first season, so you guys are all gunning for me.
Yeah, but
Shane's
Outhouse,
who's also 3-1 in the top.
No, I'm not. I'm gunning.
Shane's 0-4. Shane's
I'm terrible.
Yeah,
My team is just rubbish. I got a lot of young guys. You guys know that. You're in the league with me.
Yeah, exactly.
So then myself and Outside Toilet made another trade.
Oh, so you made 2? I only saw the first one. What was the second one?
Actually, this was today as well.
Cute.
Yeah, I didn't see the other one. What was the other one?
So Outhouse Toilet, I traded him Daniel Jones, who he did not look as good in his second game.
No, he did not.
His first game. Still decent, but he's turning the ball over a little much. Daniel Jones and Jonathan Brown. And I got back Kirk Cousins, Tyler Boyd, a 2024 and a 2021 third round.
I actually like that trade for you.
I was going to say.
I think you won that trade. Daniel Jones and Kirk Cousins this year probably score similarly. I mean, Cousins is going to stay down for forever, but Cousins has actually been really good in fantasy before. And there's a greater chance of him repeating that than Daniel Jones lighting the world on fire in his rookie year. So Outhouse trying to win this season, it almost seems like that trade set him back, whereas the other trade set him up to win this season and continue at the top of the division. So it's kind of curious that he did 2 trades that went in sort of mutually exclusive ways.
I like it. I think that's great. I mean, for us.
I think Shane won that one, though, right?
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones. He's the pretty girl right now, and Kirk Cousins is your, like, my wife's beautiful, so I can't relate. But say like you had a big fat wife at home, like, though she's a nice lady, you know what I mean? Like, but you're looking at Daniel Jones and you're like, well, she's kind of hot. Like, I like that skirt. And then you're looking at your wife on the sofa and you're like, oh, she's wearing a muumuu again. Or tutu?
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. All right. You went down a wrong path, but we understand where you're going.
Thing, is it?
Yeah, no, muumuu was right. It wasn't tutu, but you're right. Yeah, you're going down the wrong path. But
basically, what that meant in English is he's selling low on Kirk Cousins right now.
Right.
And I believe I'm selling high on Daniel Jones. I don't believe that Kirk Cousins is as bad as he's looked. I think a lot of it is the fact that they only let him throw the ball in, when it's absolutely necessary. It's like Adam Thielen said, you can't win just running the ball. At some point, it's going to have to regress. Yeah.
And I think on a side note too, I know personally throughout the whole offseason, I can't even count how many times I got a John Brown offer from you. You've been trying to trade John Brown for a long time. You've been trying to move John Brown forever.
Look, I love John Brown. It's just, his injury history. We don't like the word injury prone or whatever, but he has a significant injury history. He was healthy last year. I'll give him that. And he seems to have found the right quarterback for his skill set with Josh Allen. But, let's see what happens throughout the winter.
Sure. The other trade the one that I did, I mean, this is a 16-team league, and it's very difficult to even have starters. We have some players that are putting in players that you never even heard of. But I traded with Justin with Running Chalk. I gave him a 2021 second for Chris Thompson. That was the trade I did with him.
A nice trade.
Yeah, I was happy with it because especially with bye weeks coming up, I'm perfectly happy sticking Chris Thompson in the flex position for me in that league.
And Chris Thompson is he's within the top 5 of receptions or receiving yards for a running back. If
and
not
anytime you can get a Washington Redskin, I mean, you've just got to do it.
Well, at least a Washington Redskin that's getting points. I mean, AP sucks so bad. And I have Darius Geis. I have Darius Geis in that league because Shane reminds me all the time that he can't walk, but he's on my IR. So, I was happy with that. So, all right, before we go back to the trade talk, why don't we hear from our new sponsor, bestfantasyfootballleague.com.
bestfantasyfootballleague.com. Join a 12-team Dynasty startup draft today. Leagues start at just $49 and go up to $999. Starting lineups of 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex spots. They also have best ball leagues, weekly leagues, and redraft leagues with 6 different starting lineup options in 10, 12, and 14 team leagues. bestfantasyfootballleague.com. The best fantasy football leagues on the net.
Hey, so best fantasy football. Join it. It's the best. It's in the name, so clearly it's the best.
It is the best. Well, we did have a couple more polls left, and there was one that Jeremy really loved. Jeremy, you want to talk about the one you loved?
Oh, yeah. I liked all the polls Shane sent. I thought they were pretty timely, but the one that really spoke to me the most was the acceptable amount of time to respond to a trade offer. What's the acceptable amount of time? And the examples you gave, 2 hours, 3 to 12 hours, 1 to 3 days, and I'm sure people have in the back of their minds which they'd prefer. And maybe like me, it doesn't matter, it just kind of depends on the situation. But the reason I like this one is because of the way that people respond to my lack of response to trades. Like a lot of times I'll see a trade, I'm like, that's compelling. This isn't terrible. I don't mind moving Kareem Hunt or whatever it might be. And so I think about what could my counter be. I don't want to outright decline it, and I'm waiting, and then it gets revoked before I have a chance to or something. I tend to sit on them a little bit and think about what I want to do, especially if I'm not actively trading someone. Oh, that's interesting. They want this player from my team, and not a terrible offer, but I want something more than that. And so I don't tend to respond quickly to trades. And then, so as a joke, responding to your trade poll, I said, I like to evaluate trades before they expire. Like I was trying to basically say, before the week's up on MFL, I try to take a look at a trade and give someone an answer because I am slow to respond. Not a single person reacted to that at all. And I was a little bit surprised because I play that a lot. I don't often respond quickly enough is my thing.
You're funny. I see it. I see the little GIF and everything, but you're right. Nobody liked it. Here, I'll like it for you. There you go. I liked it for you.
Oh, it's fine. I was more surprised. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I was more surprised because as I was telling you guys, I don't often respond right away, and I sit on them. I think of a counter, and I'm like, I didn't want to move that player, but this is interesting. Maybe I could think about this. And then I waver a little bit, and it's not because I can't make a decision. I just haven't thought of a counter, and so I just let it sit there.
I just want to give one of my favorite responses out of all the things we've got, right?
Uh-huh.
So Roto Juan, at Roto_Juan, cool dude, Mike. So he goes, the options here tell a clear story about your preference. And I put, I'm just trying to give a few options. So he goes, Shane sends trade offer, sets phone down, checks immediately for a response. This bastard stonewalling me. It's hilarious.
It is funny. I mean,
that's it.
Your choices are 2 hours, 3 to 12 hours, and 1 to 3 days. I mean, those are really, really unrealistic. I mean, even talking to Jeremy sometimes in our DM threads, we don't hear back from him for more than 2 hours because he's on a call or he's working or something. I mean, there's sometimes people can't respond to you that fast, dude.
I get that. I understand, but I also look. I'm a technological guy. My phone. You guys have hung out with me. My phone is basically another appendage. If given the choice, if that medical science came to me as in the embodiment of medical science, came to me, said, Shane, we could take off your left hand and replace it with this cell phone. You won't die. It's going to be all embedded. Awesome. What do you think? I probably say yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's me.
Right. That goes back again to knowing your league mates, knowing the people you're dealing with, the psychology of everybody around you. Just because that's the way you are, it doesn't mean everybody else you're dealing with is that way.
People are different. I mean, that's the only thing that bothers me is that, anyone in leagues or that try to make trades with me, if they come out of the woodwork and try to lecture me on how I'm supposed to behave, how I'm supposed to trade, how I should be looking at something. Absolutely. Am I insane because I value a player higher? No, I'm a pretty clear-headed guy. What I don't like is people presuming that they know more than I do and presuming to tell me how shit's going to go.
And we kind of in the beginning, that's what I was saying about it's supposed to be fun and everybody has their own way of doing things. And I don't think anybody has the right to tell you that you do it wrong or that you should do it the way I think it should be done.
It's pretty arrogant to think that you can tell people how they're supposed to trade players to you.
100%. And I think that was kind of what we were talking about for this whole thing. So Shane, I think that was all the polls you had, correct?
I feel like there was other ones, but I do not remember actually sending them to the email. Well, I have a trade offer. I have a trade offer.
Live while we're doing the show, you have a trade offer. What is it?
All right. So because this is what I worry about. What am I giving up?
Yes.
Right? That's the most important thing to me. What am I losing in this trade?
There is a side thing real quick. I love MFL with everything they do, except for that text when you get a text about a trade offer, because you can't read it based on the text. You have to go check.
It's all a bunch of background information, but you don't get to see the exact trade.
And it's not even completely filled out either, so you have to open up your email to see what the trade is. Yeah. But all right, so what is it?
Well, let's set the context. It's a Superflex FFPC league. I would be giving up Joseph Mixon and Joshua Rosen. Shalom. And just for all of our Jewish friends, Happy New Year's. Well, not New Year's, because it's only 1 year at a time. So Happy New Year.
That's right.
We had a lovely dinner on Sunday. Myself, my mother-in-law, my wife, children, my mom, my brother and sister-in-law. So awesome. Shalom, everyone, to celebrate the new year. So I'd be giving up Joseph Mixon, Joshua Rosen. I would be getting back Phillip Rivers, John Brown, Duke Johnson, a 2024th and a 2024th. Well, that was
anticlimactic.
Well, that's going to be rejected, but that was still fun. It's fun when a trade comes in, even when it's a bad trade offer. I think I've said it before. A bad trade offer is like bad sex. It's it's still better than not getting any.
It's better than nothing.
It is true. I go back to what you said before. I know you said Jeremy, but I think it works for all of us. I love when you're just doing something else and all of a sudden your phone dings and you see that 400 710 thing, and you got a trade offer. And then it sucks when you look at it and you see it's just, somebody dropped somebody, it's not a trade offer.
God damn it. Why do I still have that on? I just need to turn on nothing but trade alerts.
I've done that before too. I've been like, I hate seeing those other things, but I agree with you. I think it's so awesome to all of a sudden just get one. And, it's fun.
Offers are the best.
Yeah.
there's a deeper psychological reason for it. So what it does is it actually speaks to your hope. I've got nothing.
I thought you were going to say it speaks to your ego that you have something that somebody wants. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, I was going to go about the whole, hope springs eternal bullshit. Like there's still a chance to improve or life gets better or whatever, the GIF.
It is still fun. And
whatever. I'd rather get a bad trade offer than no trade offer at all.
Exactly. I agree 100%. So
never mind.
It's better to
have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Oh my God.
So we'll edit up
Shane Manila.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this talk. Hopefully.
We are going to wrap it up, but real quick, check out our handle, whatever we're at.
We're at not whatever. We're at Dynasty Trades HQ.
Yeah. And you know what? if you listen to this episode and you thought of some things that we didn't think about, which I'm sure there was more than a few about trade etiquette, things that you don't know if it's cool or not that people are doing it in your league. Like, do people send naked pictures to you when they offer trades and you're not sure, well, is this wrong or does everyone do this?
I think every
like
league,
Friends episode. Anyway,
every league is different. Yes.
But just
Trades HQ.
if that's specifically happening, no one should be sending you nude pictures with their trade offers.
Unless you're in a league, with John Dabari, then you might get stuff like that.
Well, then, and it's worth it. Because it gives your eyes a lot of exercise and you squint in.
Or his cool cooking apron. All right, tell everybody about our Patreon.
Go hit us up on iTunes. Give us a rating and review because we need those. If we don't get enough of those, we'll actually be pulled off of the network.
No, we won't. And tell them about our Patreon account.
Time to become a patron. If you love the show, like the show, go be a patron. You get to hang out and talk with. Well, you don't get to hang out with us, but sometimes you do. Depends.
In Canton, we did.
Patrons.
Virtually.
But anyway, you're not paying for that. That would just be, then we'd be hookers. But, I do that too. I'm not going to lie to you. So anyway, you get to be a patron. You join our patron account. We're always talking in the group meet chat. You get the bonus podcasts, which we're getting ready to tape right now.
Absolutely. Once we wrap
content it up. And other stuff like that. So, got a bunch of different tiers. Check us out on Patreon.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hope this helped you guys, and I hope everybody's having fun, and good luck in week 5 we're going into?
Week 5
already.
Oh, my God. All right. And we'll talk to you guys.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week. Say goodbye, Shane.
Bye, Shane.